Is Jaden Ivey officially coming off the bench moving forward for the Detroit Pistons? We're going to talk about that in today's episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast.
You are Locked On Pistons, your daily Detroit Pistons podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast. Per usual, I am your host, Ku Cahill. You can find me over on Twitter at Ku Cahill. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review. Whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more right now. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Just visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. I'm recording this directly after the Detroit Pistons preseason win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Literally just ended probably like 2 minutes ago. We're going to be talking about, is Ivey officially going to be coming off the bench? We had some strong games from James Wiseman, Killian Hayes, and Isaiah Stewart. And then also I want to talk about Ausar Thompson's defense, which again was a major bright spot in this game. But I want to start off with Jaden Ivey. So in this second preseason game, Cade Cunningham did not play in this game due to... what was the exact injury called? Basically, all you need to know is that I don't believe Cade Cunningham's actually hurt at all. I don't think he's... I think he maybe has a sore thigh, like maybe quote-unquote sore thigh. But I want to find the exact... what is it here? Where's that? Oh, okay, left quad tendinitis. I don't buy that he's actually hurt at all. And as soon as this was put out, Pistons fans went crazy, and Cade's trainer, Ashton, in some tweets that have been deleted, basically said, hey, calm down. He's not playing because it's preseason. Like, everyone needs to relax. That's why he's not playing. He's deleted those tweets. But, I don't think anyone should be worried about that at all. I don't think there's anything to that, even a little bit. But the thing that you should be taking away from that is that even with Cade Cunningham being out for this game, Jaden Ivey did not start. They started Killian Hayes in Cade Cunningham's spot, so they ended up with the starters of Killian, Burks, Ausar, Stu, and Marvin Bagley. Jaden Ivey still came off the bench. So is that signal to that, Jaden Ivey is officially going to be a bench player or a sixth man? Let me not say bench player, but sixth man for the Detroit Pistons this year? I believe so. I think that probably is the strongest indicator we've had thus far that Jaden Ivey will be a sixth man for the Pistons this upcoming season. Now, we haven't heard from Monty after the game. I'm recording this again immediately after the game ended. And we'll have practices. The Pistons don't play again until the 16th. So they have, another week, right? It's a week away, I believe. Actually, I think it's even more than a week away. I think it's the 19th the Pistons play again. But either way, they don't play again until next week. They have a lot of practices coming up. We'll hear from Monty Williams throughout the week. But the fact that Cade Cunningham missed this game and Ivey was still brought off the bench tells me that they're really wanting Ivey to get accustomed to this new role instead of having to go back starting six-man. It seems like that this is what they want from him, and they want him to get accustomed to this role coming off the bench. And I'll say, I'll make it very clear. I don't like him coming off the bench. I don't think it's the right move. But I do like the idea of how to use him within the offense, of just having him go out there and being told to just go out there and score the basketball. He didn't have a great night tonight. He shot 6 of 17 from the floor, 13 points. He was 0 of 6 from deep. So from twos, he was actually 6 of 11, which is fine. But yeah, didn't have his three ball falling tonight. What I did like to see though from him is the fact that I think in his first defensive possession in the game, he picked up Josh Giddey full court, stole the ball from him, and got himself an easy dunk. It's clear that he's trying defensively. That's something that you couldn't say at all times last year for his rookie season. But so far through 2 preseason games, if nothing else, he's giving effort. He's trying to be a defender. He's trying to do his best, it seems. Defensively, now, do I think he's good now? No, he still wasn't that good defensively tonight. But having someone who's an active defender and actively trying is better than a bad defender who just isn't trying. So I commend him for that, and I did like that possession against Giddey. That shows that he's really trying to give it his all and trying to improve defensively, which, again, is something I love to see from him. But, again, we'll wait to see what Monty officially does when the season starts off. In a few weeks here, we'll hear from him throughout this week. I'm sure he'll be asked probably 20 times about this. But for me, just watching this game, I think that was the strongest indicator that he will be coming off the bench. I don't see why he wouldn't be coming off the bench. If Cade were to miss the game, you still don't start him. Again, that just tells me you want him to be accustomed to his new role. Moving on past that, though, I want to talk about some of the guys that had some strong games. In the second segment, we'll talk about Killian Hayes and Isaiah Stewart. But James Wiseman had a strong bounce-back game. It wasn't going so great for him in the first half, but in the second half, he responded really well. He ended the game 20 points, 10 rebounds, 8 of 8 from the floor. Didn't miss a single shot, was 1 of 1 from the three-point line, 3 of 5 from the free throw line, and he was a major reason why the Detroit Pistons came back and won this game. He was a plus 19 on the floor. He played he played really great. I mean, great down the stretch, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes because Bagley didn't really get to play a lot in the second half, and he had a good night too. He had 9.7 rebounds, 4 or 5 from the field, also hit a 3. He didn't get to play as much. Wiseman got to play for a lot of the second half, and he played really well doing it. It's going to be interesting to see how the Pistons, work this backup 5 stuff because I think you very clearly see through 2 games, Bagley and Wiseman are just 2 completely different bigs. Bagley is basically just going to be a pick and roll big for the Pistons. He's not trying to soak up touches. He's not trying to get post-ups or anything. He's just going to be a pick and roll guy. He's going to catch lives. He's going to dunk the ball. He did have a really good bounce pass on a backdoor cut from the high post and a dribble handoff. That was really nice to see. But Bagley is going to be in his role. He's going to, like I say, he's going to catch lives, set picks, get offensive rebounds, put it back, etc. That's going to be his role. Wiseman, though, I've said in the podcast, I'd love to see Wiseman just fit into a role, being a role man, and fit into that and buy into it and just do that. But I think it's quite clear through his time with the Pistons last year and even through 2 preseason games with the Pistons, that's just not what he's comfortable doing. Could he get better at it? Yes, he could get better at it. But I think it's very clear that he's just someone, he's more comfortable just posting up. He wants to roll into post-ups. He wants to secure post-ups. He wants to seal defenders off, get the ball right in front of the rim, and go to work. In the second half, he was getting those touches, and he was doing really great with those touches. He started off with back-to-back hook shots from the paint, made them both. Then he had a pull-up jumper from the high post area. He hit a 3, and I believe his final 4 field goals were all on offensive rebound putbacks. Marcus Sasser missed one. Wiseman put back dunk. Asar Thompson missed a left-hand layup, and then James Wiseman was there to clean it up. So I love the fact that he was active on the offensive glass, and he was scoring that way. I think that's fantastic. Love to see that. I was happy that he ended up with 10 rebounds in just 23 minutes. He was active in that department. Defensively was on off. He had one really good rep in pick and roll in drop coverage where he knocked away a lob pass. But then the Thunder were able to get 2 lobs over him the next few possessions. So he was on and off defensively. But I mean, this is how you wanted Wiseman to respond to Bagley having an absolutely sensational first preseason game. And especially because Wiseman didn't have a great first half, it's even more impressive that he then came out in the second half and didn't miss a single shot. So, like to see that from Wiseman. Do I think all of a sudden now he's won the backup 5 position? No, I think Bagley still holds on to it because of his role, because of all he needs to do, which is just roll to the rim, and because I thought Bagley played good tonight too in the starting lineup. I don't think he's overtaken Bagley as the backup 5, but I think what he has done is extended the competition more or longer than maybe some of us thought it would be. I still think Bagley's ahead, but this is definitely what you wanted to see from Wiseman, a bounce-back effort. I liked what I saw from him. The thing with Wiseman, I said this on Twitter. I do want to say this about him, and then we'll move forward. I feel bad for him because I feel like if he was drafted to a team that, one, was going to give him the reps to do what he likes, and 2, a team that was like not competing for a championship to where he actually could get those reps and go through missing and making mistakes and actually develop off that, I feel like he'd be a better player right now because it's clear that he needs reps to get better. He needs reps to, improve that post game, like to actually polish it. And it was a great night from him. I love seeing what I saw from him in the second half. It's just I don't know if the Pistons are the team that's going to give him those reps to try to polish his offensive post game and give him touches to go score the basketball. That's not the big it seems like the Pistons need. So I kind of feel like he's just been even after a game like this, I just feel bad for him because it feels like he's not really going to get an opportunity through the first 3 years of his career to really play the way he wants to play and be given a chance to play through mistakes because he wasn't given a chance to do it in Golden State. And then the Pistons trade for him, and then they go out and hire Monty Williams, and now it's about trying to win right now. So I kind of feel bad for him, but like the performance he had tonight. Let me know in the comment section down below. 1, do you guys think Jaden Ivey is officially coming off the bench? And 2, how did you feel about James Wiseman's performance for the Pistons in this preseason game against the OKC Thunder? Let me know in the comment section down below or over on Twitter at Cougar Hill. When we come back, we'll talk about some strong games from Killian Hayes and Isaiah Stewart. But first, I've got to tell you guys about one of our sponsors, FanDuel. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. And if you go over to FanDuel, you will see that they have the Pistons win total over-under at 28.5 wins. If you're feeling good about the Detroit Pistons and you think they're going to get over 28 wins, go ahead over to FanDuel and test your luck over there. If you're a little bit more pessimistic, think they'll go under 28 wins, hey, same thing. Go over to FanDuel, test your luck, see how it goes for you. So visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn and kick off the NFL and NBA season. Again, go to FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's with FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. That's another great way to support the podcast. So we got some strong games, back-to-back strong games from Killian Hayes and a strong game from Isaiah Stewart. Before we get into those two guys, though, I do want to say, actually, you know what? Should I just save that for the third segment with Asar and his defense? I think I should. Okay, well, I'll push that back, actually. I'm going to bring that up with Asar. And not just Killian Hayes and Isaiah Stewart. We also got strong performance from Marcus Sasser, too, especially in the second half. That's where he really took off in that fourth quarter. He was another person who was a big-time reason why the Pistons were turning it around at the end of this game. Now, it's tough with players like Sasser and Umudi and players like that who really started to take off in the fourth quarter when the Thunder had their third stringers in the game. It's hard because you want to find a balance between giving them credit for playing really well, but then also balancing with they also were going against third stringers. The thing with Marcus Sasser though that I want to bring up is his shot creation is real. Now, whether he's going to whether the shot making will be consistently there, that's what he's going to have to prove throughout his career. But the ability to create space on shots, definitely there. His handle is very much what me and my friends we call it yin yang. It kind of yanks people around. It's like a yo-yo. So his handle is really good, creates a lot of separation. He gets open shots for himself from beyond the arc. He played really well. He had 17 points. 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 11 from the floor, 3 or 4 from deep. A lot of this, I want to say, I don't know the exact numbers, but I would take a guess and say 13 points of these came in the second or in the fourth quarter. He was really heating up, and another big reason why the Pistons were able to come back in this game. So Marcus Sasser played really well, and Umudi played really well as well. 18 points, 4 or 5 from deep, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. He's actually someone that's been impressing me through the first 2 preseason games. I wouldn't be mad if he got the final roster spot for the Detroit Pistons. He's been very accurate from beyond the arc, hit multiple threes in both games. He's been a part of the Pistons' comebacks in both games at the end of games, hitting clutch threes. And in this game, he was drawing free throws. Now, I don't think he's going to be some great player, and I don't think he's going to be getting ever probably going to be seeing minutes unless some crazy thing happens. But for the 15th spot, I think he's playing pretty well through the preseason. I think he's warranting serious consideration for him to be the 15th man on this team. I think he's played really well. I think he probably deserves it so far through 2 games. So I like what I've seen from him. And then moving on to Isaiah Stewart and Killian Hayes. I'll start with Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart had 12 points and 8 rebounds in this game. He got quite a few post-ups. Now, the very first play of the game, the Pistons opened up with a post-up for Isaiah Stewart, and he got the ball stolen from him instantly by J-Dub. And I was like, yep, there you go. Like, this, like, I don't know why we're posting, the Pistons are forcing post-ups to Isaiah Stewart. It's good. He's not a great post-up player, yada, yada, yada. So the first play didn't go well. But then the next, I think he had 3 more post-ups after that, and they went reasonably well. He probably had the best post-up move I've ever seen him do against Chet Holmgren in the post. He really just put his shoulder into Chet's chest, and that's a mouthful, and then puts his made a left-hand layup from the low block. That was really nice. He had another he got the ball. He sealed off his defender right in front of the rim. A guy threw him the ball, and he gave a quick right-hand hook. That was another good shot for him. He ended the night, again, 5 of 7 from the floor, 2 of 4 from deep. You got to see him take some threes and make them. I'm happy that he didn't end up taking like 7 or 8 threes like he did the first game. And I'm happy to see that he made one. And one of them he actually did hit. I believe it was James Wiseman, came off of a DHO. The guy he originally was going to went backdoor, so then he handed the ball off to Stu, and Stu just, didn't really come around the DHO. He just caught the ball and shot it. Now, I think that if Stu is to, I don't think you're going to see Stu running DHOs very often. I don't think that's something the Pistons want to do. But the fact that he was able to catch the ball and just let it fly, that's probably the best he's going to be able to do off a DHO. I don't think he's going to be able to catch the ball and put the ball on the ground and all of a sudden he's attacking the rim and making a kick out. I don't see that being in Stu's future. I don't think he's going to be a consistent guy, catching off the DHO and just letting it fly. But if a defender goes way under the screen, I have no problem with him then catching it and shooting it, and he made it tonight. So you're happy to see him hit some threes. I'm happy to see him actually hit some post-up moves too and make some of those. So if he's able to, and you guys know I was pessimistic about it, we can see how it goes in the regular season. But hey, if he's able to, once or twice a game, post up a mismatch and get an easy bucket off, that great for him. That's another way they could possibly use him offensively. So I like that if he's able to do it. I'm still a little bit pessimistic on it, but he definitely played really well tonight for the Detroit Pistons. Liked what I saw from him. Didn't like the fact that he fouled so much, though. The Pistons had a lot of people foul a lot. Asar fouled out. Isaiah Stewart had 5 fouls himself. Muddy had 4. Casalon had 3. He only played 8 minutes. The Pistons fouled a lot in this game. They had a lot of turnovers, too. They had 20 turnovers. So, very sloppy game. But, yeah, Stu played really well tonight. It was a nice bounce-back game from him compared to how he played in that first game for the Pistons. And then Killian Hayes played really well back-to-back nights. He shot 1 of 5 from deep. One of them was a shot clock bomb again that he gets thrown. And I'm telling you this right now. Now, nonetheless, he shot 1 of 4. You'd like to see him shoot at least 2 of 4 there. All of them I thought were good shots. So you'd like to see him hit some more threes. That's something you definitely going to be watching for throughout the regular season or the preseason, because even with all the other stuff he's doing, you need to see the three-point shot fall. So not the greatest start to that. But with the shot clock bombs, if I was Killian Hayes, I'm not shooting those no more, man. I'm not taking my percentage. I'm just going to hold the ball and I'll eat the turnover. I'm done doing that. If it was me, that's what I would do. I'm not doing that no more, dog. That's just done. That's done with it for me. He takes way too many shot clock bombs constantly and too willing to do it too. It's like he's happy he gets to get them up. No, hold on to it. Eat the turnover, man. Eat the turnover. But he was 7 of 13 from the floor, 4 assists in this game as well. He did have a really nice steal on, I forget the player, but really nice perimeter steal. Just reached around the guy, ripped him up, and took it for an easy layup. I think Killian Hayes has looked really good. I joked on Twitter that that Killian Hayes trade now to a team that wants to take a chance to give him an opportunity on his contract year is going to hit like crack. Now, if the Pistons want to find a rotation spot for him, it seems like from what we've heard and from what we're seeing in these preseason games, Monty really likes Killian and he's going to find a spot for him in the rotation. But I could also see the Pistons flipping him, and I could also see another team being like, okay, we'll take a chance on him in his contract year. I could see that happening. But the thing with Killian that I really like seeing from him is that he looks a lot quicker off the bounce. And our friend Hal, who comes on the podcast and guests with us, really good with looking at this type of stuff, especially with prospects. But he pointed out something to me that maybe it's not necessarily he's quicker, but he's syncing up his crossovers and his dribble moves with his footwork. To where it's not like him fumbling up the footwork and slowing down. He had a really, really nice move on Chet Holmgren. I believe it was in the second quarter. He went double behind the back, and as soon as the ball came back to his left, gave him like a quick hezzy, and it just exploded all the way to the rim, got all the way to the basket, and finished same hand, same foot, finished up high glass over Chet Holmgren, who's a fantastic rim protector already. So that was probably his best possession of the night. He had another really nice drive to the basket off of a quick cross, yank to the right, tween to the right, and then immediate cross to the left, got to the rim as well. Really nice move from him there. And obviously he hit his pull-up middies too that he was taking. So look, I think Killian Hayes is playing really well. The shot creation is there. He creates a lot of space on his jump shots. It's just a matter of, one, is he going to hit? Is the shot making going to be consistent? And two, can he balance out his mid-rangers with some looks at the rim? And three, to where his shot diet improves? Because that's going to be a main reason why his efficiency was so bad this past year still, despite the fact that he had an improvement, is because he takes tough shots a lot. That's what he lives off of last year, was just pull-up middies. And that's just a hard shot diet to live off of. Now, that's why I thought the drive-by on Chet was so big time. Because if he's able to get to the rim and like he did there and like he did in that first game, the first game he wasn't even hitting a lot of jumpers. He was getting to the rim a lot. So if he's able to balance that out and improve his shot diet, that's going to do wonders for him. That's going to be big time for him. And I think he'll be a good player for the Pistons if that's the case. But through 2 games, he's played really well. Liked what I've seen from him. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think of what you've seen from Killian Hayes, Isaiah Stewart, and guys like the Marcus Sassers, the Stanley Muddy, guys like that? Let me know in the comment section down below or over on Twitter at Kuka Hill. When we come back, I want to talk about Asar Thompson's defense, but also the team's defense in general. We'll talk about that when we come back. But first, you guys got to hear from some of our lovely sponsors. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. That's another great way to support the podcast. So I'll start off with the positive. Asar Thompson's defense, I think he's showing me more and more each preseason, through 2 preseason games, that he's probably going to be one of the rookies that are really good defensively immediately. Like, immediately. He's walling dudes, drives off. Guys aren't even being able to get to the basket or get to their spots. He's beating them to their spots and just walling off drives continually over and over. He did it to Devin Booker in the first game, Bradley Beal in the first game, and then in this game he was doing it to SGA, he was doing it to J-Dub, he was doing it to Josh Giddey. He's staying in front of guys, shuffling his feet, and getting to the spot before anyone else does. Like, it's really impressive stuff, too. So I thought defensively he looks definitely as advertised. And then also, he got screened a bunch tonight, but I think maybe like 2 screens he actually got caught on. All the other ones, he just gets right around him. He skinnies up and just pushes, kind of how you're taught, at least how I was taught in high school. Get up into your man, beat him to the screen, kind of skinny out through the post, skinny out through the screen. He does a fantastic job to do that. And gets around it very, very quickly. I think he maybe got stuck on screens maybe twice. Outside that, he just slips right around it. It's like he has a pick dodger Hall of Fame. It's crazy. So I think defensively, Asar looks as advertised. And, yeah, he's probably going to be one of those rookies who are really good defensively instantly. Now, again, he had another night struggling with efficiency, 2 of 10 from the floor. I believe like 3 or 4 of those were simply like on putbacks, kind of like the Andre Drummond thing where he's just like tapping it up, trying to get the ball back in the rim. But nonetheless, wasn't very efficient from the floor. Missed a few layups that I felt like just sort of been dunks. That goes back to what we talked about with him pre-draft, to where he doesn't have his footwork down on his drives, to where I feel like once he gets his footwork down, like these should be easy dunks. He had one when he went to the reverse with the left. He beat the guy so clearly off the dribble. It should have been an easy just yam. It should have been a poster instantly, very easily. But he sells for like these tough finishes around the rim where he really could just explode and dunk on somebody, or just explode and get an easy dunk. So I think that's something that you'll see improve with time. Maybe not this year, but I think next offseason, that's something you'll see him focus on and something he'll probably get together. Not worried about that long-term with him at all. I think that's something you easily can clean up and improve on. So the fact that he's able to get to the rim despite not having a jump shot that people respect is what matters, and he's able to do it a lot. But, yeah, efficiency, not great. We'll see if he improves that throughout the preseason, but, yeah. Staying with the defense, though, Ausar was good defensively, but the team is awful defensively so far through 2 games. Now, it's preseason. That's the point of preseason. Get ready, get ramped up to the regular season, and get everybody, get their legs underneath them and really work through, like, the troubles of your schemes and stuff. But so far, the Pistons have been really bad defensively. They allowed 34 points in the first quarter and 40 points in the second quarter when the OKC Thunder starters played. Now, in the second half, they did better defensively, but again, they're going against third stringers in that point. When the OKC Thunder starters were playing, they were blitzing the Pistons. They were getting them off the floor. And the Pistons just couldn't get any stops. Chet was causing problems. SGA was causing problems. J-Dub was causing problems. Even Giddey was causing some problems. Dort was really causing the Pistons some problems. He had 24 points tonight. But that's a concern of mine. As you guys have heard throughout the whole offseason with me, I've talked about this. The Pistons talked about how they want to improve their defense, how everything was the focus was defense. But I've said that I just don't think, even despite them saying that, they really attacked personnel with the idea of defense. Because I know the Pistons were missing Cade. I know the Pistons were missing Bojan. And I know they were missing Duren and Monty Morris. But out of those guys, maybe one is like a positive defender right now, and that's Cade, maybe. A slight positive. Duren was not a good defender this past year. You want to see him make the jump from good defender to average defender. The other 2 guys are not good defenders. So I just don't know. Again, it's preseason. They're going to work things out, and maybe they get more, confident in their scheme defensively, and that's a big thing too. Getting confident with the scheme and knowing where to be and everyone clicking on the same page will make up for people being bad defensively in their own right. So if the Pistons can come together as a team and really get that clicking, that will help for sure. That 100% will help. And if the scheme is what it needs to be, the right scheme, yes, a right scheme with everyone buying in and clicking on all cylinders, that will make up for individual defensive weaknesses. So we'll see if that ends up happening. That is the hope with the Pistons. But I think you very clearly see some of the defensive worries with this team. And despite the fact that Ausar Thompson has looked good defensively, I do think it's a little bit telling that he's looked like one of their best defender through 2 games, and he's a 20-year-old rookie. Most teams are not relying on rookies to be their best defender, and it usually points to the fact that the rest of the roster just isn't that great at defense. And I think that's the kind of situation you're having here with the Pistons. Again, like I said, the hope is that Monty Williams instills a defensive scheme that everyone buys into, and as the season progresses, maybe around January or February, they really start to click defensively. They start to really buy in on the scheme. Everyone knows where they're supposed to be. They're instinctive on that end when it comes to the scheme, and they can make up for the fact that maybe individually they're not great defenders, but they can buy in as a team and be a fine team defense. So that's the hope, but it's definitely something that's a problem right now. It was a problem in the first game, too. It was really bad. What did they allow? Like 70. I think they allowed close to 50 points in the first quarter of the first game against the Suns. So back-to-back games in the first half, defense was really porous. The Pistons also was sloppy offensively still, so with turnovers. So that also contributes to it. Better offense. Taking care of the ball will limit transition opportunities, obviously. But defense very clearly is something the team is going to have to improve on throughout this year. Monty very clearly knows that. He's talked about it nonstop. So I have very big reasons to believe that Monty's going to try his best to get that turned around and really harp on it. My question is whether he's given the personnel to really make something cook with it. We'll see, though. Regular season's coming up soon. We'll see how Monty does with it. What do you guys think about the Pistons defense so far through 2 preseason games? Let me know in the comment section down below or over on Twitter at Kuka Hill. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. Hit that subscribe button to the YouTube channel. Leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Stay safe. Until next time, peace out.